How's it going, everybody? I'm back. I'm making this video because a lot of people keep talking about how bad cops are, and they're not all bad, just some of them. And I'll show you some examples. Now we're going to look into, of course, my favorite city in the whole world, the City of Glendale in the state of California. City of Glendale employee code of ethics. It says, we are personally committed to each of these core values. Excellence, striving to provide the best quality public service. Integrity, demonstrating steadfast consistency of actions, values, methods, measures, principles, expectations, and outcomes. Honesty, being straightforward in our words and actions, never tolerating lying, cheating, stealing, or deception. Keep that in mind. Trust, earning confidence through committed actions. Fairness, acting in a manner free from self-interest, favoritism, or bias. Teamwork, doing our part to assist and support each other in harmony. Who the heck is each other? Maybe themselves? Respect, maintaining a high regard for everyone. Keep that in mind as well. Accountability, accepting responsibility for the quality of the completion of our services as stewards of the community's assets. Compassion, exercising care and courtesy while being helpful, sensitive, empathetic, and understanding of everyone's needs. Keep that in mind as well. Cultural awareness, respecting our differences while focusing on common ground to build community. Guiding principles of ethical conduct. Number 1, act with integrity in all situations and relationships. Number 2, be fair and impartial with all decision making. Number 3, conduct government openly, efficiently, equitably, and honorably so that the public can make informed judgments. Provide superior service and maintain a high regard for everyone without favoritism or prejudice. And the last but not least, number 5, safeguard public confidence in the integrity of government. Now, keep this in mind, folks, because I'm going to read something somebody sent me, and I already knew about this happened in about February, but I didn't pay too much attention because I wanted to see what the outcome was going to be, of course. So, officers fired after taking patrol car to Vegas. Glendale KTLA. 3 Glendale police officers accused of using a patrol car for a personal trip to Las Vegas have been relieved of their duties, city officials said. Glendale Police Department Officer Patrick Cumberland, Fernando Salmeron, and Mike Ulrich were accused of taking a marked patrol car to Sin City without permission, though officials declined to discuss the full specifics of the incident, because of course they wanted the public to be informed so that they can judge. Salmeron and Ulrich were deposed on March 29th and Hamblin on April 1st, according to a city spokesman. 3 other officers have also been placed on leave for misconduct. One is accused of having sex with the suspect's estranged wife, while another case involves an officer accused of getting into a fight with another motorist in Burbank last October. Officer Eric Ritter has been charged with misdemeanor battery in that incident. He has pled not guilty and claimed self-defense, of course. The names of the other officers involved in the crackdown were not available, of course. The department, its actions are part of an effort by Police Chief Ronald DePompa to enforce a zero-tolerance policy on misconduct. Oh, by the way, Mr. DePompa is a really nice guy. I hear he likes to talk about me sometimes. Don't know if that's true or not, though, but yeah. So let's go down to what people say, of course, in the comments section. This is the most interesting part here. And I'm going to make it bigger so everybody can read what it says here. This is just the tip of the corruption iceberg with the Glendale Police. The only reason why the chief acted was because the officers were so stupid it forced him to work. The Glendale PD has a long history of taking criminal money and drugs and leaving it out of reports. I'm not surprised, if this is true, of course. If the individual officers' bank accounts were audited, they'd have to rehire at least half of their positions. They also create and sign false confessions using signatures from licenses as templates. Never heard about that. That's new. They are so corrupt, there is no way the chief couldn't know and be in on it. It's not a safe town with the yahoos they have on their police force running amok. And the fact that they work with the LAPD and LASD is a blemish on their departments as well. Make no mistake, this wasn't about rooting out corruption or improving the integrity of the department. It was a simple cover your ass by the chief. What else do we got here? Now remember, these are people that this guy alleges that he lives in Glendale, because he says right here, I live in Glendale, California, and a few months ago I was on a walk with my wife 1 block away from our home when an unmarked brand new Dodge Charger, and I've seen that Charger, with 3 uniformed Glendale police officers stopped us on the street. They did not get out of the car but told us to stop walking and asked me if my name was Joe. I politely answered no, and then they said I looked familiar and asked if they'd ever arrested me before. Again I said no, and this still wasn't enough. Are you sure I haven't arrested you? Of course, this is what they do, and I've heard them say stuff like this. So I believe this guy already. Before, you look real familiar, he asked. As a matter of fact, let me actually interrupt this, because I was talking with someone about, what's his name, that bald, light-skinned police officer, really skinny, big lips, tall. Well, I'll put his name in later on. I can't remember his name right now. My wife started to ask them who they are and what they wanted, I guess. They laughed like a bunch of playground bullies and drove off. Now we have lived here for almost 10 years, and maybe I look familiar because this is where I live. I was not aware that that was a crime. If that's not harassment, I don't know what is. I've watched them roll up to bus stops and make innocent people waiting for the bus put their hands on the wall for a full pat down. I've watched them write elderly people jaywalking tickets, and that's true. That actually, they do that a lot in front of their police station, but it's not, the ones I've seen weren't for jaywalking as far as because they were not walking where the light is at. I've actually seen officers on motorcycles park on the sidewalk where the light is at across the street from the courthouse, and because elderly people cannot walk fast enough, they get cited because the light turns red on their end, and so cars wait for them to cross the street. But people have walkers, for crying out loud, and they of course don't give a crap, because unlike what it says here, they have no what? Compassion. But anyways, and this is another true, what he's saying, statement right here. I've even caught them pretending to be pedestrians crossing the street by Starbucks on Central, and then writing tickets to the cars who didn't stop when it's them all along. Completely entrapment in front of all the residents gathering and all. They are fearless. Stay away from Glendale, California. It's a police state. It sure is, and that's true. I have seen them do that right by Taco Bell as well. On Central. Has anyone dared to ask the full details of the cases? Why is all that information kept secret? Well, there is something that doesn't make sense in that scenario. Yes, there are corrupt officers as well as the good ones. I work alongside many of them and know that maybe, just maybe, that this is a scandal greater that just this incident and perhaps these individuals were used as scapegoats to bigger issues that Glendale PD has. There is corruption, but the investigation should start with their chief of police. Wow. Anyways, I guess that's it. Another thing I wanna also state here is that when I went to the internal affairs and told them my story, keep in mind this is the first time I ever went and I really believed in the system, and I really believed in that these people would weed out the crooked cops, not realizing that they're all a part of this big scam and big corruption. So I talked with the internal affairs officer, and I had recorded that, and he actually said he didn't want me to record, so I stopped. And what happened was that they see the way it works for internal affairs, I'm assuming in pretty much any city or any state, is that they cover up for the police officers. So if you go and tell them the full story, they'll say nope, nothing wrong there, and then they can kind of, you know, weasel their way out and give excuses as to why it happened, or maybe this happened, or maybe that happened. Because I remember the internal affairs officer was always saying, well, maybe they do this sometimes because of this, or you know, sometimes they do that because of that, and maybe they just didn't perceive it this way, and maybe you need to understand that. And so that's really what it came down to, more like it was my fault and not theirs, and maybe it was because of me, of my actions, and you know, that's why I got this ticket, because you know, maybe whatever reason it was, but it was my fault in the end. So that's when I realized, well, these people, it's a big organization like the mafia, where they're there to help each other. You know what I mean? Kind of like where it says right here, teamwork, doing our part to assist and support each other in harmony. That's true. I believe that. So you know what? City of Glendale Employee Code of Ethics, that's the only thing I agree with, because everything else I don't agree with. But, you know, I could be wrong. So please leave your comments. Let me know what you think. And if you live in the city of Glendale in the state of California and have seen stuff like this, let me know. Because I'm actually going to make another video about the officer. I'm not going to say any names yet without the proof, but who likes to go to someone's house. And this is a married man that goes to work. And the officer, from what I'm told, has while he's on duty, he'll park, go into the apartment, and go with the man's wife. And this is a known fact from the people that are telling me, because they're neighbors, and so they see a lot of things and hear a lot of things that most people won't, of course. So keep that in mind. It's just what I have heard. That's why I'm not saying any names, and I could be wrong. So let's leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think, and tell me if you agree that you know, all cops are good.